welcome to another episode of Streetpreneur Podcast, where we bring you the most exciting and innovative entrepreneurs. I have a very special guest today. She's into business management, operations systems, and she's going to tell us today how to streamline our businesses to make them run more efficiently. I want to welcome Mrs. Mari Torres to the show. I hope I didn't butcher that name.
No, you're good. It's perfect.
Okay. She has a bachelor's degree in finance. She also specializes in optimizing business operations for CEOs, Fortune 500 companies, small business operations, and also solo entrepreneurs. Welcome to Streetpreneur Podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Super excited.
How you feel today?
I feel pretty good. I'm excited to talk about, operations. That's my thing. So Thank you for really having me.
And how many years experience do you have in business systems and operations?
I have a decade, so 10 years in operations, specializing in multiple different industries. So just working on that and team management, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. And what were you doing before your career in business operations?
So I was a property manager, and then within property management, I moved on up to training as well as the acquisition and systematizing the day-to-day. But I have always just been in that operations role. But definitely it was real estate, and then before that, just... regular odd jobs.
Okay. Did you have your real estate license or?
No, I do not.
You didn't have your real estate license?
No.
And so you've always kind of been behind the scenes at every job you had, like you said, kind of doing the operations, administrative.
Yes, sir.
End of everything. So.
Yes.
And when did you take us back, a little bit about your college years, where you're from, just kind of break it down a little bit. So just tell us who you are.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm from Jersey, and I moved to Georgia about 10 years ago. And that's when I continue my online studies for finance. I just always loved numbers. It was always something that just came natural to me. And so I just wanted to take on into finance. And then from there, that's when I stepped into property management. And I was given like one of the biggest projects for me at a young age, just taking that senior managerial role at the age of like 19. Okay. So ever since then, I just been always thinking about just operations. So I was living more so in the city at that time. Now I'm more in the outskirts. I'm more chill now. I'm a mom. I became a mom 2 years ago. And that's when I actually really started my operations business, is when I left property management and started the ops flow, and from there it's just been going up. Yeah.
So when did you move to Atlanta? Or how long have you been living here? So
it's been about like a little over 10 years. It's like 10 years, 10 to 11 years. Okay. And I actually was living in Warner Robins, which is like the most countryest part. I feel like
Warner Robins.
That's like a few hours from Florida. So it's definitely more land over there. Yeah. And I just couldn't do it. Then I had an opportunity to get a job in Atlanta. So within the year of me living in Warner Robins, I moved to Atlanta. And then I was in Atlanta for about like 8 years until I actually moved out to the outskirts of Atlanta. Okay.
I like the name of your company, the Ops Flow.
Yeah.
Just kind of tell us about what made you to make that decision to be a full-time entrepreneur, and just tell us what type of services does your company offer.
So I really dived into the ops flow or the entrepreneur spirit because of my mom, honestly. Okay. She has always been she's a businesswoman herself, and she owns, she's in fashion though. I can't do fashion. She's in fashion, but she has her business in that. And I really got it from her. My grandmother too, she had her own sewing company. Okay. So it just really is something that's in our blood, in our family, and is something to just really be proud of. So another factor of that is that I really stepped into entrepreneurship because I wanted that freedom, even though The picture is not always perfect because entrepreneurship is really, really hard. It has ups and downs. You go through a lot. It's you know, it's easier to get a 9-to-5, you know? But definitely that really was my motivator. And then especially since I became a mom, I really wanted to be there for my son a lot more. So it's just my lifestyle called to me more than just working and making money, you know? So it's a little tough, but it's a beautiful thing. Now it's just like, you know, all that hard work makes sense. So I focus more on operations because I'm just a system person. I feel like
kind of walk us through the steps.
Yeah.
Just, you know, like I said, we're going to use an example. I own a small business and I contact you for different services, you know, that I saw on your website. Just kind of walk us through the onboarding process of a new client.
Yeah, so they'll fill out a form, and on that form I have strategic questions that really will help me on our first initial call to determine what services. And so the key services that the Ops Flow do provide is talent management, data management, system management, the SOP creation and management, which SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures, and then also just project management as well. And all of those services is really geared on building the back end systems of your business. And I will be able to determine like what does the client need based off where they're at. And from there, I have customizable operations management services. So I create a tailored package for them specifically for the needs that they need. So from there, we just, you know, work together. I do a lot of behind the scene. I have a 4-step framework process. It's called ARIA. It's ARIA, and it stands for auditing, reverse engineering, implementing, and then analyzing. And so
And what do you see as far as inefficiencies on most of your clients that once you start evaluating them, they've done the onboarding process, what are the basic inefficiencies that you see in most companies?
They do things twice.
What do you mean do things? What do you mean by twice?
So let's say, for instance, you have a discovery form or a discovery call form, and that's the form that your potential client, buyer, whoever is interested in your service, they'll fill out that form, right? And let's just say the questions that are on that form, you ask those questions again on a discovery call, or you ask it again during the automation. So doing things twice is very inefficient. And then that's part of the systematizing of your business, because it's not just it's not how it's being done, which is the basics of what people think a system is, like how things are being done, but it's when you do it, what you do, the strategic approach behind what you're doing and at what time. So I could bring that down. So breaking down the whole system part of it is really there's like 4 components. And it's understanding the system that you're using, which a system is, or a tool or a resource. It could be a project management tool like ClickUp or HoneyBooks. Then the second part of that is really understanding the information that you are asking for, that you want on your workflow. So the second part is like knowing the information that you're going to obtain in the workflow.
All right.
And yeah.
As far as how many packages do you offer?
I have 2 packages, a strategy session and then the actual management, which is the ongoing support.
Okay. And what are the costs for those different services? Or I know each one is tailored specifically to what that particular client needs. Just kind of give us the basic price for each package.
So for the operation strategy session, that is $1,500 a month for 3 months. So it's a total investment of $4,500. And I dive in deep, I assess everything, and I implement the actual system that's behind it. Then the next phase, which is for ongoing management, that operations management it can start at $1,500 because it's customizable. Many people might have their own team for certain services that I already provide. So I always want to have that flexibility to really tailor the operation management support. So it started at $1,500, and the key things that really determine if it will be higher is based off how many systems you have and how many team members and how much you're making a month. So it's really like those three things will determine if it will be higher.
Right. And do you offer, just say, a la carte services? Somebody just want one particular operation to improve?
Yeah, so definitely when I assess everything, I can just create like a project management service where it's just a one-time project, and that can be, 1 to 2 months of support as well as implementing. However, it's more based off the actual project itself.
Okay. And just kind of give us some examples of your recent client that you helped out, and what type of operations did you put in place for that particular client?
So my recent operations strategy client, she owns a bookkeeping firm and provide bookkeeping services for property managers. So what I have set up is the project management system to manage her team and set up automations within that project management system for certain tasks that are repetitive. And then I integrated that with her CRM, which she uses HoneyBook. And the CRM is the client relationship management tool that she used for her clients. So I was able to integrate the onboarding of her client to also be put into the project management tool. It's so much into it. I could go down in detail, but the actual integration between that and then the onboarding process for her team as well, streamlining just the email marketing, creating the business overview presentation, which as well as the employee handbook, creating that. And so streamlining the talent management part, streamlining the client management part, as well as the team management, which is mainly the day-to-day. So integrating all of that together so they could just really focus on doing what they need to do, which is just bookkeeping services.
And that's it, yeah. And how do you find most of your clients? How do you acquire your clients?
So word of mouth.
Through networking events or Chamber of Commerce, or how do you...
My biggest thing is social media. That's where they reach out to me, word of mouth, and it's really just those two, word of mouth as well as social media. So I'm on Instagram.
Okay. And how do you balance as far as, just say you're dealing with a corporate client, you're working with different teams and departments. How do you balance that when you're working with cross-functional teams?
Yeah, definitely. I think the most important thing is just communication and expectation. So being upfront with that will determine what am I expected or when I'm expected to work with those teams as well. And utilizing tools like project management tools like ClickUp will definitely help me organize and have my thought process. So there's definitely a system behind all of that as well, as far as the particular strategy that I am providing to each of my clients.
Okay. And what is the difference between operations management for what you're doing, which is more like an independent consulting, right?
Yes.
Versus the operations manager that would be director of operations at a corporation. Are both of your jobs similar?
Yeah.
I know one is in-house and you're coming from an independent contractor.
Yes, definitely. So I can come in more.
Just kind of break down the difference between the two. A lot of people, I think we need to explain that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Right. So director of operations, usually when it's a big corporation where they can hire and onboard someone internal to be there full time, they'll usually would want to get somebody as a director of operation. Essentially, I would do the same thing as a director of operations, but focusing more so on being one-on-one with the actual client, the CEO rather. Right. So I am doing the exact same thing, but I also am more hands-on as far as, because since I am a solo person, I have my own team that helps me, but I'm more hands-on. I'm implementing, I'm being one-on-one, and I'm not just building a system for them, but a system for their business, but a system for their lifestyle, so that things are merged together.
Okay. As far as your degree in finance, how do you help clients who, I'm sure some clients might ask for your financial, just want to get your opinion on structuring that finance situation. How do you implement that into their company?
Yeah, so I review their budget, and I'm able to forecast as well as do a financial analysis. Okay. So looking at their numbers, I will determine the bottom line, their profit margin. I will be able to determine determine where they're spending most of their money, because one of the biggest approaches that I have when it comes to my operations is cost control and mitigating risk. So utilizing those two type of approaches, I always am looking through those lenses. So if I'm looking at their financials, I'm looking at what costs can we control, because there are a lot of costs that are uncontrollable, like things that are unexpected.
Yeah. What's considered an uncontrollable cost?
Uncontrollable can be, let's say, for like a real estate industry, they don't know how much they're going to probably pay for insurance that year. So that is where you need to have a range of percentage, like you want to have like 5 to 10%. It really just depends on the actual value of the property, I would want to say. But it really depends on that, to have that allocated into your budget to make sure that you are mitigating that risk, because you don't want to get to that point and you didn't put enough money aside to pay it off. And something that's controllable is like a system that is a flat rate per month that you know is going to be $100 per month. So that is controllable, that's foreseeable, is trackable. So those are the two differences between those things.
Okay. And who would you say most of your clients are?
Service providers.
I know it varies, but service-based companies?
Yeah, definitely service-based. A lot of them are in the real estate industry, or as well as coaching. They're a business coach, or they're in the real estate industry providing bookkeeping service, or like HVAC, like trades jobs, or even in the real estate industry itself, like real estate agents or real estate brokers.
Right. Do you host your own live workshops or seminars, or is that something you're looking at doing and talking to a mass group of people?
I am.
I think that'll be something that's needed.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. I would love to be like a speaker for companies to bring me on, and I'll be able to just guide them and speak to their team as well as the executive team to just give them some insights on operations and to gain different perspective when it comes to efficiency and their day-to-day operations.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where do you see your company in the next 2 to 5 years? Is there any new projects or new developments that you're working on? Just kind of tell us what some of those are.
I see my company really working with government contracts. I really want to focus on bigger contract deals, and like this being a speaker, and where I am more so leading, and then I have my team in place who I train to follow the blueprint of the ops flow for them to be able to run the business on my behalf while I'm going ahead and just bringing on more clients, but definitely speaking arrangements as well as just getting more government contracts.
Okay. How many people you have on your team currently now?
Right now, I have 2. So someone more so for like marketing, because I do a lot of just building the business overview presentation for my clients, where it breaks down the vision, values, and mission for them. And then I have a virtual assistant who helps me with a lot of the admin and research as well.
Okay. How do you feel about the current climate that we're in as of right now, as far as maybe heading towards, we're already in a recession, but is that affecting your business?
It has a little bit because a lot of people are wanting to do things in-house. So that's where I actually had to change my services. I wanted to be able to be flexible. Like, that's one of my main things, especially for a solopreneur. Like, they need someone that is flexible. They can't hire sometimes somebody who is charging.
People,
they
10,
can't.
20,000. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So being flexible was one of my biggest things because I understand how hard it is to know that you need that expert advice, but you don't probably have the funds for that expert advice.
Right. So are they cutting their budgets?
I'm sorry?
Are they cutting their budgets?
Yeah, definitely. I would say one of the things I've noticed is that they're getting rid of systems that they probably don't think that they need. And then they are hiring international help, which is it's a smart move. There's certain positions that I still do believe that will be beneficial if you hire internally or someone that has expert advice.
And what are some of those?
I would say operations, marketing, and financial. Marketing, operations, and financials. I think if you were to get people who understand the economy in this area and understand the how things could be universal and understand the importance of the policy behind certain things and how to do it, it's definitely different in the States. So you have to understand how to research and look for the right information. Okay. And international probably won't be able to do that.
So in your day-to-day operations, what are some of the challenges that you face? Things that really cost you money or time, or just the challenges that you're still dealing with, or maybe you dealt with in the past?
Definitely, I would say in the past will be delegation.
You like to do everything yourself?
I do. And it's crazy because I'm in operations, right? It's like a double-edged sword. But
you don't feel that it's done right if you don't do it, or yourself? Right.
So I'm definitely have been positioning myself to make sure I document everything to the T and the strategy behind everything. It's not just them learning how to utilize a tool or resource that we have, but it's trying to also have people that are wanting to do it better, or always seeking to do it better, or who are curious to do it better,
Right.
And sometimes some people just, they want to be told what to do and they do it, but they don't strive to try to go and take the extra mile. And I think that's important, is to have people who are going to go that extra mile to be like, hey, wow, you told me to do this, but I also did this on the side. I researched that we can also do it this way. Like, I would rather have a team player that is like that. And that's how I work. That's why I'm always, I'll do everything on my own. And I'm like, I'll try to get something done and it take a little bit longer, but it's because I'm really trying to understand the ins and outs and see how I can do it better.
Okay. And most of your packages and your plans as far as working with a client and meeting your deadlines, most of those, your projects done within 2 weeks or 30 days, or just it kind of varies?
So the project base, the project base, which is more a la carte, will be something that will vary. I would want to provide at least 30 days of support. I always do. But if it's a project that's over 30 days, it just really depends on the type of project. Now, my operations strategy, that's a 3-month support.
3 months, yeah.
So, and I have a system of I have different phases. So my system of cutting everything down into 4 phases, which allows me to spread it out within those 3 months. And then my operations management start at 3 months. But if they're wanting to extend that to 6 months, that's great. But I like to do 3 months because that's more a long-term relationship. And I would want to make sure that both of our cultures, our work culture, will mesh well.
Okay. And how do you balance the work life and family life? I know you mentioned you have a son or daughter?
Yeah, I have a son, a little 2-year-old.
2-year-old son, yeah. How do you balance the two?
It was definitely hard at first because I was doing a lot of things on my own. I think the most important thing is delegation. Delegation is not just for work. Delegation is also in your personal life. That's from hiring someone to help you, like a daycare or getting a housekeeper to come in once in a while. Delegation is key to strive. So if you are thinking you could do it on your own, it might be possible, but you're going to be burnt out. You're going to be, that's it. So delegation is key, personal and in business.
Okay. And how do you keep track of the new technology? How is AI being implemented in the operations management business?
I love AI, to be honest.
Just give us some examples of how you use it to help your clients with their businesses.
Yeah, it's definitely increasing efficiency. So I'm always looking to see what tools are out there. So like I said, the whole model of like trying to strive to do something better, I always end up trying to research like, hey, there might be if I'm struggling to get something done, I start to think there might be something out there that can possibly help me. Yeah, so for instance, the AI tool like Get Munch or the Opus clips, those can convert long form videos into shorts. And that's very helpful. But when you actually are testing it, which is important for an operations to come in, you're testing it, but you start to realize you need to upload certain videos. You can't just, a podcast will be great. Some talking videos where you're explaining might be great, but you have to be very strategic on the type of videos that you upload there, because it's going to take clips of what you're saying, and you want to make sure those clips make sense. The right clips. Yeah. And then as far as for ChatGPT, another thing for me is research. So that has increased my efficiency and increased the efficiency of my clients as well, where I use it to do a lot of research. I'm big on research.
Just kind of give us an example of what you ask it, because some people say they ask it a certain question and it doesn't give the answer that they're looking for. Maybe they don't provide enough detail into what they're asking. Just kind of give us a brief example of how you use it within a
definitely. So
a presentation, I would say, maybe.
That is called a prompt. What you're telling the ChatGPT is called a prompt. So you might hear people online that say, hey, I use this ChatGPT prompt. So my prompts that I ask are, I be specific on explaining who I am, what I do, who am I trying to reach, or who am I working with. I ask the questions, and then I also add, hey, can you also make sure to add in the perspective? Like, I'll add my personal perspective in there because I want it to be very personalized. So I would say, hey, I am an operations manager for service-based businesses. I have a client who is a bookkeeper, and they specialize on providing bookkeeping services to property management. I understand my perspective. My services are tailored around talent management, data management, operation XYZ. I need you to research the top 5 tools that my ideal client would be using, and make sure that these tools are increasing efficiency and they are in the budget of less than $100 a month, as well as provide me insight, other stuff. So I be very, very detailed.
Very detailed.
Yeah, ChatGPT is my best friend.
Tell us some of the top tools that you use in your business that may be able to help someone that's listening today.
ClickUp and HoneyBooks are my top tools. HoneyBook is the CRM that I use to onboard my clients, set payments, contracts, scheduling. And then ClickUp organizes all of my tasks and responsibility. But I also like ClickUp because they have a dashboard feature. So I integrate my other tools that I use to actually create a visual dashboard it's like just visualizing data and metrics and important KPIs so that I can see it every day. So I'm tracking my data. I'm trying to see what are we doing, how great it is, and tracking my tasks. So those are the 2 important tools that I have.
Okay. What's coming up next? Is anything like you kind of broke it down to me earlier, though, about what some of your future goals, aspirations are. And where do you see the operations management going in the near future?
What I see in the near future is really focusing on data and systems. I want to be able, there's some services that I do provide that I know that can be a la carte, like one-time service, and transition from taking those services out from ongoing and focusing a lot on data and systems, because is always improving. Like you said, like in this economy, in this world, like we have AI, everything is innovative. So those are the key services in everything, in addition to research and development. So research, data, and systems. Those are the three things that I really want to focus on and be able to market that and present that to everybody.
Yeah. Do you feel AI is going to replace operations, director of operations at corporations?
No, I think it will.
Soon.
I think
know they're going to be working with it.
Yeah.
Using it as
definitely. I think it will take certain jobs away. I think, if an operations person know how to use ChatGPT and say the right prompts, like for instance, for me, like I like research. I believe that I don't need to hire someone to focus on research. There's some people who will hire someone specifically that's just doing research on every type of trends. But if I can come up with a way to use it myself, then I won't hire a service like that. So it's more so it will take certain jobs away that require a lot of, output. Yeah.
Okay. Well, please give them your contact information before we wind down. Please let them know how to reach you, how to get in contact with you, and definitely give her a call if you need your business systems in place, any automation, any AI. You heard her explain everything. So she's here to help you with your business growth and streamline your companies. So tell them how to get in contact with you.
Yes. So my website is theopsflow.com. You can also find me on Instagram at the Mari Torres, Mari with an I. So that's DMARI Torres with an S. And reach out to me in DMs or just go to my website and we'll connect. Just book a call.
And I want to thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to come on the Streetpreneur Podcast today. And I want everybody out there to hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Pass this interview on to any of your business associates, anyone who you know that might need her services. And I want to thank everybody for watching today. Like I said, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in our next episode. Thank you.